Okay, this is the second part of section 5.3. And the first part of 5.3, we were solving trig equations. And the only difference between this part and the first part is we are going to have what they call multiple angle equations. And so just a quick review. If you remember when we were graphing like y equals sine x, we knew that the period of sine x is going to be 2 pi. But then we also had equations where our periods would change. If I had sine 2x, okay, anytime we had a number in front of our x, we found our new period by saying 2 pi divided by b, and my b was the number before the x. And so sine 2x, my new period would become pi. Okay, this is a multiple angle. This is an example of the types of problems we're going to have when we have a number in front of the x. And before today, we haven't had that. So we're going to solve these exactly like we've been doing before. And then we're going to have just an extra step after we solve. So here's the first example. Solve 2 cosine 3t minus 1. Okay, I know this is going to be a little different than what we've been doing because of this 3 in front of this t. Okay, so for right now when we solve, we're just going to pretend like it's a regular problem. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides, and I get 2 cosine 3t equals 1. Then I'm going to divide by 2. Cosine 3t equals 1/2. Okay? So before, we would just say cosine t equals 1/2. We draw our triangles. We're still going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to draw my triangles, or I want the angle where cosine is positive. So I know it's positive in the first quadrant and the fourth quadrants because all students take calculus. I can label my triangle, and you don't have to do this part if you already know where cosine is 1/2. But for anyone that may have forgotten, the way I'm going to get that answer is I know this is going to be a 30-60 triangle. Okay, 30 degrees is always opposite my 1. So I know this right here, this angle has to be 60 degrees. Okay, so this is 60, which means this is 60. So my two answers, okay, 60 degrees, and 60 degrees is pi over 3. Or if I go all the way around, that's 300 degrees, or 5 pi over 3. Okay, now that used to be our answer, but here's how we're going to write this. My angle, which before was just t, but now it's 3t equals pi over 3. And since they want all answers for this, remember our answers for sine and cosine, the period is 2 pi. So for every 2 pi after this, so I'm going to go ahead and write that down. Pi over 3 plus 2 pi k. And then I'm going to write my other angle. 3t equals 5 pi over 3 plus 2 pi k. Now here's the deal. We want to know what t equals, not what 3t equals. So I'm just going to solve for t. And I can do that by dividing everything by 3 or multiplying everything by 1/3. Same thing, right? So that's what I'm going to do. So my 3's here cancel, and I get t equals pi over 3 times 1/3 is pi over 9 plus, and since I have to multiply everything by 1/3, this 2 pi is going to change. It's going to be 2 pi over 3k, which that kind of makes sense because my period is going to change. It's not going to be 2 pi anymore. It's going to be 2 pi divided by this number 3. So that's going to be 2 pi over 3k. So that's one answer. So I'm going to do the same thing with this answer. Multiply everything by 1/3. So I get t equals 5 pi over 9 plus 2 pi k over 3. So instead of every 2 pi, my answers are going to start repeating every 2 pi over 3. Okay, let's do another example. Example 2. 3 tangent x over 2 plus 3 equals 0. So first we're going to solve. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and I have tangent x over 2 equals -1. Okay, now again, when we start writing our answers for this, remember the period of tangent. The period of tangent is pi. All right, so I'm going to draw my triangles. If we're not sure where tangent is -1, I can draw my triangles. Tangent is negative. All students in the second take calculus, and the fourth. So if you're not sure, -1, this is, remember, y over x. Okay, so my sides are going to be -1 and 1. So I automatically know, since I have two sides are the same, this is a 45, 45. So that means this angle must be 45, this angle must be 45. Okay, remember we always get our answer by starting here at the x-axis and going across until I touch my hypotenuse. So that's 180 minus 45, or 135. We always write our answers in radian form. So that's going to be, what, 4 pi over 4? So that's 3 pi over 4. And then my other answer is going to start here and go all the way around. So 360 minus 45. And what is that? 315, or 7 pi over 4. Okay, now I just did some extra work. I wasn't really thinking, did I need to go ahead and find this? Okay, I didn't, because we already said the period for tangent is pi. So can't I just find this first one from 0 to pi, and then I'll have all of the rest of my answers that I need? Okay, so I didn't have to do this part. So I know that my angle, x over 2, is equal to 3 pi over 4 plus every pi after that. But since I'm solving for x, I want to multiply everything by 2. So x equals, this would be 6 pi over 4, because I'm multiplying it by 2. 6 pi over 4 will simplify down to what? 3 pi over 2? Plus, multiply this by 2, 2 pi k. And that's my answer. Okay, I know you have an example 3 on there, but we're going to wait and do examples 3 and 4 together in class. So what I want to do is I want to do couple of your homework problems together. All right, your first homework problem is number 39. So let's do number 39 together. This is page 365, number 39. So I have sine 2x equals negative square root of 3 over 2. So here's the deal. They actually saved me a step. It's already solved for sine 2x. If I'm not sure where sine is negative square root of 3 over 2, I can draw my triangles, all students. So my triangles would be in the third and fourth quadrants, because that's where sine is negative. Sine is y over hypotenuse, or opposite over hypotenuse. So I know when I do the Pythagorean theorem, I'm going to have a 30-60 triangle. So since I know 30 degrees is always opposite my 1, I know that's 30, this must be 60, which means this must be 60. So my first answer is this one right here. That's 180 plus 60. So what is that? 240. Okay. And then 300. 180 plus 60. Yeah. Okay, so that's, what is that? Pi over 3, 3 pi over 3, so that's 4 pi over 3. So that's 6 pi over 3, that would be 5 pi over 3. Okay, so we know that the period for sine is 2 pi. So I'm going to say my angle 2x equals 4 pi over 3 plus every 2 pi after that. And then I'm going to write my angle equals 5 pi over 3 plus every 2 pi after that. Now to solve for x, I'm going to divide everything by 2 or multiply everything by 1/2. So I get x equals, this would be 4 pi over 6, or what, 2 pi over 3 plus pi k. So I have to multiply everything by 1/2. It's like distributing. When I do this side, I get x equals 5 pi over 6 plus pi k. And those are my answer for that one. Okay, we're going to do one more together. Number 41. Okay, so let's do one more. Let's do 41. Okay, 41 is 2 sine squared 2x equals 1. So we're going to solve for sine first. So I'm going to divide by 2. Sine squared 2x equals 1/2. Now remember, you can't ever divide by this 2. That has to stay there. Okay, now I have sine squared 2x, so I just want sine. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides. When I take the square root of this side, it's plus or minus the square root of 1, which is just 1, over the square root of 2. Now, this one, do you see that since I have plus and minus, I'm going to have triangles in all 4 quadrants because they want to know where is sine positive and then where is sine negative. Well, it's all 4 quadrants. So if I drew my triangle, sine is y over r. So when I do the Pythagorean theorem, do you see that my other side is 1? So I have to have, that must be a 45, 45. So I know that this is 45, this is 45. So I'm going to list my answers. They're 45 degrees, or pi over 4. 180 minus 45, or 135 degrees, or 3 pi over 4. This one right here, so 180 plus 45, what is that, 225, or 5 pi over 4. And then all the way around be 360 minus 45, or 315, which is 7 pi over 4. Okay, so remember our angle 2x equals all 4 of these. So I'm going to say pi over 4, and then they want all of our answers. So the period for sine is 2 pi, so every 2 pi after that. And then I'm going to write each one. So then 2x equals 5 pi over 4, plus every 2 pi after that. 2x equals 3 pi over 4, plus every 2 pi after that. And 2x equals 7 pi over 4, and 2 pi after that. Since this is what 2x equals, we just want x, so we're going to divide everything by 2 or multiply by 1/2. So that means x would equal pi over 4 times 1/2, that's going to be pi over 8 plus, my 2's cancel, pi k. And that makes sense because 2 pi divided by 2, my new period is pi. There's that one. Multiply everything by 1/2. X equals 5 pi over 8 plus pi k. There's one other answer. Multiply this by 1/2. So x equals 3 pi over 8 plus pi k. And then one more. Multiply this by 1/2. So x equals 7 pi over 8 plus pi k. All right, we are going to go over examples 3 and 4 together in class. When it says approximate the solutions from negative pi to pi, they want us to graph this. Okay, x equals 2 sine x. Graph this from negative pi to pi. Make sure you're in radian mode and see where it crosses the x-axis. Wherever it crosses the x-axis, Those points will be your answer, and we're going to do that together in class. Same thing with example 4. They're wanting us to plug in some of these numbers and then see where it crosses the x-axis, and we'll do those together in class. Okay,